Understood? Now we have a very important two terms here. The first one is the potential evapotranspiration and actual evapotranspiration. These two you need to understand very critically. Okay, na? Very that the terms have a very deep meaning in that you need to understand. Before that, you should know that the this is the soil and there is this one plant here. This is a plant and the precipitation is coming here, and that precipitation when reaches the ground, let us consider the water here. It is means the water is not infiltrated. I am not considering the infiltrated water, which went through groundwater, that I am not considering. The water in the top surface of the soil I am considering, and water here that will transfer to the plant bodies, that is transferred to the plant bodies. And now what happens, this water is evaporating, and this water is also evaporating. Now potential evapotranspiration means ability of this system that in a particular day or particular hour how much of water will be evaporated. What is the ability of that soil, that we need to think. Say for example, we have a sand here and we have a clay here. The water will escape, water will evaporate from sand also, from clay also water will escape, but ability of escaping the water from these two bodies are different. Sand becomes dry very quickly, but clay will not become dry very quickly. Why? Because clay will not, inside the clay, the water evaporation will be less. Inside the sand, the water will evaporate very quickly. Means you got the ability. You understood the meaning of ability. That is what here it is. Potential evapotranspiration means that is the ability of the atmosphere to remove water from the surface through a process of evaporation, transpiration. Assuming that there is a this I will explain later. Understood? What is this? See, it is the measure of ability of a atmosphere to remove water. Okay, to remove water or to withdraw the water or to suck the water from the surface through the process of evaporation and transpiration. Okay, therefore now what is there in the bracket? Now look at here, assuming that there is no limitation or control on the water supply, means there is a continuous supply of water is there. Okay, see here the water is there, and this atmosphere is sucking that water, or the atmosphere is removing that water, and again the water is supply is there, supply is continuous. It doesn't mean that after 1 hour it become dry and the evaporation stopped. No, then if it is there, then you will not get the ability, now it is what? Actual evaporation, evapotranspiration. Now it is not the ability, it is the actual one. Okay, it is the quantity of water that is actually removed from the surface due to the process of evaporation and transpiration. The difference between potential and actual is this is the ability and this is the actual. Okay, actual means in a particular day that how much of water will be removed from the surface. Then potential means what? The ability, and there should be a continuous supply of water. There should not be any control over the water. Understood? Now we need to understand two more terms, and these terms are very deep meaning in they have a very deep meaning in irrigation. The first one is a field capacity. The first one is the field capacity, and the second one is the permanent wilting point. Understood? Now look at here, I am considering this is my palm, this is my hand. Okay, this is my hand, and here I am going to put one mass of soil. This is what? A soil it is. This is a soil. I am holding that soil in my hand. Okay, now I am going to put a water here. I am going to put a drop of water. This is one drop of water. Don't say it is a blood. The colors are reversed. The water I am putting here. When I put the water drop by drop, then this soil is absorbing that water. The water is stored inside. See, the water is continuously supplying and storing inside. Then after that, the water starts dropping down from through my fingers gap. Now, it happens now. Now it is finger through the finger gaps. The water is coming. Means before coming that water through the finger gaps, that how much amount of water is collected inside and which was there against the gravity, that water, that capacity is called as field capacity. That is the field. Okay, here just I am holding it. It's my hands, my hand is a very small one, but if you think that the God's hand, then the God is holding the entire earth, and the field is this one. This is a complete field, and if you put a water here, and it will observe against the gravity how much it can hold inside the soil, that is called as the field capacity. Okay, now read the statement field capacity. If you have any doubts, you can ask. The second one is permanent wilting point. What do you mean by wilting? Wilting ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? विल्टिंग ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಣಗೋಗೋದು. ओके, हिंदी में सूख जाना. सूख जाते हैं ना. देखो यहाँ पे एक पेड़ है. See, this is one a tree here, and some amount, that amount of water is supplied here continuously, because this soil is a moist soil, and this water is absorbed by the plant, and therefore the plant is alive. Means this is a green plant, live plant, जिंदा है अभी. Okay, then if I stop supplying this water, if I stop supplying water to the roots, then what happens? If I stop water supply, then what happens? This will wilt. अब क्या हो जाएगा? ये सूख जाएगा. Okay, then permanent wilting point is called as, that is also water content of the soil at which the moisture is no longer available in sufficient quantity to sustain the plants. Okay, to make this plant alive, you don't have that much of water in the soil, therefore that plant is dried, and now I don't know later if I supply water it may recover or not, that we don't know. Therefore permanent wilting point means that is the least water content at which that plant will die. Understood? Now see, field capacity and permanent wilting point depends upon the soil characteristics, of course, and the difference between these two moisture content is called as available water. Available for what? Available for plant growth. Available for plant growth. That water, the maximum water and the minimum water, in between whatever the water is there, that is called as availability of water. Understood? Now very interesting is, whatever that amount of water is available, that is between field capacity and the permanent wilting point, from that water, that water may be evaporated. Okay, or that water will be evaporating how? It might be directly evaporated, or it might be flowing through the plants and evaporated. Understood? Means our main concentration is available water. Do you have any doubts in this slide? This is a very deep slide. If you have anything, you can ask. Here we will understand more about actual evapotranspiration and potential evapotranspiration. See, if the water supply, one thing you should know that this actual means on the field with actual conditions, and potential evapotranspiration means what? That is the ability of a ground, ability when there is no control over the supply, when full supply is there, then that is, then for a particular ground, then I can consider PET is a constant. PET is a constant. What is this actual evapotranspiration? This will be a varying with many factors. Then if I say if it is equal to 1 or 100%, then I can say that AET is equal to PET. Then what happens in the next condition? That AET may be less than the PET. If the AET is less than the PET, then I can say that the ratio is also less than 1. Then this is a practically existing. But this you will never get it. AET more than the ability. Actual is more than the ability, never going to happen. Therefore this we are going to avoid. Therefore our graph will have 100% at the top and 0 at the bottom. And this evaporation and transpiration happens from the water which is there in the field capacity. Field capacity means what? This evaporation or transpiration will be happening from that soil, that water, which we call it as a available water. Then what is the available water? Available water is the water between field capacity and permanent wilting point. Then that available water I made it into 0 to 100%, but in the reverse way I made it 100 here and 0 here. Okay, then you can see here, if a field capacity is 100%, field capacity is 100%, means your actual and potential both are same, means water is evaporating very potentially because supply is full, field capacity is there here. Then when you come to 0, that is your available water is 0, means you are at the permanent wilting point. At that time I can say no evaporation, no transpiration, therefore AET becomes 0, then the ratio becomes 0. In between it will be varying like this, but the variation again depending on the type of soil. For sandy soil you can see it, the fall is something randomly it is falling. For clay soil I can say up to 50%, the actual and potential both maintained, and later the very random fall we see in the clay soil. This is what the trend between the potential evapotranspiration and available water. By seeing this, you need to design so many aspects in the irrigation that systems. Okay.